085 3731.
SafeMusicList.com, royalty-free music for marketing and promotional videos.
Right, good morning. Welcome to yet another interesting edition of Aloore newspaper review, coming to you live from the GSM studio here at the Ministry of Information Secretariat at Agodi, Ibadan. Today is the 5th of February 2024. My name is Olamide Adeniji, and I will be bringing you major stories or major headlines from the Nigerian Tribune. First, I'm going to bring up the major headlines, and then we will delve into the body of the stories one by one. First story I'm bringing to you here is a sad one, coming from page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. Economic challenges, presidency article in war of words. It also has some riders. Tinubu's response: uninformed, arbitrary, chaotic. That's coming from article. And article doing a poor job, offers no alternative to president's policies. That's coming from the presidency. And another sad one coming from Namibia. Namibia's president dies at 82. And on page 2 and page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune, police parade suspected killer of Ekiti monarchs. How we killed them, suspect confesses. Driver killed as abducted pupils, teachers regain freedom. We paid their abductors money, gave them milk, drinks, tramadol for their release. Family sources. Oyebanji visits victims in hospital, says perpetrators will be arrested. Victims undergo trauma treatment. And then on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune, brain drain, 500 workers left National Hospital in 2 years. That's coming from the CMD. Cancer killed over 500,000 Africans in 2022. That's coming from the World Health Organization. Northern Youth Group faults Katsina elders. Northern Youth Group faults Katsina elders' remarks against Tinubu's government. And then still on this Naira issue, Naira value inflation, construction experts groan. And there's a promo too on the on the right corner of the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. How unstable exchange rate affects importers' cargoes at ports. The Nigerian Tribune is full of sad stories. The front page of the Nigerian Tribune is actually full of sad stories. When I return, I'll bring you the stories and then more that we will find in the heart of the newspaper. Please stay tuned.
We'll bring you everything from breaking news.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music,
Girl, I just want me with you like guys.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
我媳妇喜欢是人生人啦，谁啦？大媳妇修罗，哎呦你好，来呀又抓呀！You don't fear me? na Aloore Radio you dey. If you no dey listen to Aloore Radio, you are wrong. You are not doing well. If you dey listen to Aloore Radio, you are doing very well. Very, very well. In case you are listening to me for the first time, I'm Pastor Chinko, comedian, the senior man in the industry, the biggest comedian all the way from China. Now, Corona sees me for Nigeria. You understand the Pidgin, you understand Yoruba. In case you are listening to me in Nausa, I get name. Sunana Pastor Chinko. In case you be Igbo person, and you dey listen to me, Afambo Pastor Chinko. Igbo people, you go kwenu. You shout ye there. All of now, when you say you don't know response, you go to shout ye. Now hey, Afambo Pastor Chinko. As I said earlier, in case you speak Yoruba so well, Omo Badan kini so. So ni kila jelana. Ìwọ tó jẹ panla ló sọ pé na chicken. Kila fi jókòó, kushi si ana le sọ pẹ̀lú plastic chair tó fi jókòó yẹn. Ẹlòmí àgbórin ló fi jókòó yóò sọ pé kushi share. Anyway, all joy. But if you speak Chinese so well and you want to pronounce my name, you don't write it on paper. You record it on your radio, on your phone. Or enemies, you call it this way. Say la la for you. Say la la. Means of la la. Chinese logo it means Pastor Chinko. Now my name, no be your name. Igara saying Aloore Radio. Keep listening.
Hear this. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State. Let us take you on a journey across continents as we bring you latest news, captivating stories, and diverse perspectives from around the globe. From breaking news headlines to fascinating features, discover the stories that shapes our society and the voices that demand to be heard. It's Newspaper Review on Aloore Radio.
Welcome back. Don't forget you could join us on our Facebook handle www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio. You could also join us on YouTube, Aloore Radio, or log on to our website www.alooreradio.com. You could download our mobile apps on the Google Play Store, and you could call our studio line 0903 9853 731. Okay, straight to the news. I'm bringing the first news coming from Ekiti State. How we mobilize food, milk, drinks, tramadol to release kidnapped Ekiti school pupils, teachers, family sources. Abductors and of pupils and teachers of Apostolic Faith Group of Schools, Aloore Ekiti, a Aloore local government area of Ekiti State, have released the victims. The government had on Monday ambushed the school bus conveying the pupils and staff to Aloore Ekiti, a suburb of Aloore, at a bad spot, and whisked away 5 pupils and 4 members of staff, including the driver. The kidnappers later reached out to the families of the victims and demanded 100 million naira ransom. But after much pleading, they reduced the amount on Thursday. This is a very sad story. You could get a copy of the Nigerian Tribune, page 2, and read more on this story. It's a sad one coming from page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. How we mobilize food, milk, drinks, tramadol to release kidnapped Ekiti school pupils, teachers. That's coming from the family sources. And then I'm bringing this next story from page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. 2 Catholic priests kidnapped in Plateau. The St. Vincent de Paul Fia in Kwande, Shemdam Diocese of Plateau State has been thrown into confusion following the abduction of 2 Catholic priests, Father Kenneth Kanwa and Jude Nwachukwu. It's a sad one too, on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Cancer killed over 500,000 Africans in 2022. That's coming from World Health Organization. The World Health Organization has disclosed that over 500,000 Africans died of cancer in the year 2022, as it called for urgent interventions to avert a projected 1 million annual deaths by 2030, considering about 882,000 new cancer cases reported in the African region the same year. You may read more of this story on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Don't forget, yesterday was the World Cancer Day. We pray God in His infinite mercy would grant respite to those who lost their loved ones to this very crazy disease, and for those that are battling it, we pray God would grant them speedy healing. Now, next to my next story on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Makinde orders to speak at International Education Conference in Ibadan. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde will deliver a keynote address at the International Education Study Abroad Fair 2024 in Ibadan on February 23, as his administration is determined to tap into global future opportunities and attract investors in the education sector in the state. You may read more of this story on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Still on education, no renewal of Teachers Certificate, TRCN boss Ajiboye says. The Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, has described as misleading claims by the National Association of Nigerian Students that the council is asking people holding its certificate to rewrite professional qualifying examination. Registrar of TRCN, Professor Josiah Ajiboye, in a statement in Abuja, was reacting to the claims contained in a letter by the Senate President of NANS, Comrade Akinteye Babatunde, said the allegation was unfounded. Probe missing $3.4 billion IMF loan, Serap tells Tinubu. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to promptly probe the allegations that $3.4 billion loan obtained from the International Monetary Fund is missing, diverted, and unaccounted for. Wow, Nigeria. That's on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. My next story is coming from page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune, which says brain drain, 500 workers left National Hospital in 2 years. CMD, the Chief Medical Director of the National Hospital Abuja, Professor Mahmood Raji, on Sunday disclosed that no fewer than 500 personnel of the hospital have resigned in the last 2 years. Raji, who spoke to the news agency of Nigeria in Abuja, hinted that most of them went abroad in search of better employment opportunities. You may read more of that story on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. And then this next story is coming from the same page, the 4th page of the Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu mourns as Namibian president dies at 82. Namibia's president Hage Geingob has died on Sunday in a hospital in Windhoek at the age of 82. The presidential office said in a statement on X posted by acting president Nangolo Mbuba. Oh, that's a sad one. You may read more of that story on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Ex-Yobe governor Bukar Abba Ibrahim dies in Saudi Arabia. Sorry, I think I'm tired of reading death stories. Okay, let's go to another story. Okay, this next story is coming from page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. Naira value inflation. Construction experts groan. Construction experts are groaning under the volatile naira devaluation and general inflation in the economy. They are extremely worried about the depreciation of naira value going by the current exchange rate of dollar to naira. You may read this on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. Forex crisis, importers abandon cargoes inside Nigerian ports. Following incessant review of the nation's exchange rate by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which has seen the naira exchange to dollar at 1,413 naira to a dollar from 1,356 naira to a dollar at the weekend. Investigations by the Nigerian Tribune has revealed that many importers have been forced to abandon their cargoes at the nation's ports due to inability to clear them as a result of the very high customs duty that has been slammed on these cargoes. Okay, this is a long story. The first paragraph is quite long. You may read more of this story on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Importers abandon cargoes inside Nigerian port. Okay, I have some people in the studio here, and one of them shouted Jesus when I mentioned the exchange rate. It's a bad one, but we really hope that God will intervene in the economic crisis we are facing here in Nigeria. Okay, so my next story is coming from I'm bringing my next story from from page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. Disclosed religious body sponsoring is insurgency. Sharia councils tells EFCC. Following recent disclosure by the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission that a religious sect was discovered to be sponsoring insurgency in the country, the Supreme Council of Sharia for Sharia in Nigeria, SCSN, has called on the commission to disclose the name of religious organizations and take decisive actions. Alright, you may read more of that story on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, let me quickly go to my next story. My next story, which is coming from page 20 of the Nigerian Tribune. FX loses deep total. Okay, this is on capital markets. You may grab a copy of the Nigerian Tribune to read that. Okay, so let's go to the politics page of the Nigerian Tribune, and this is saying Edo PDP World Congress, Makinde protests over electoral officers' composition. Governor Seyi Makinde has rejected his appointment as the chairman of the People's Democratic Party Edo State 3-man ad hoc World Congress Electoral Committee, accentuating that the lingering crisis between his group and the hierarchy of the party. The governor is a prominent member of the Nyesom Wike-led G5 opposed to the national leadership of the party and its presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Atiku Abubakar. You may read more of that story on page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune. Ondo APC northern leaders endorse Aiyedatiwa's governorship bid. That's too early to read. Okay. Stakeholders beg Olujimi to rescue Ekiti PDP. Stakeholders in the Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party have called on a former Senate minority leader, Biodun Olujimi, to step in to rescue the party from political oblivion in the state. You may read more of that story on page 22, the politics news page of the Nigerian Tribune. By-election fallout. 1 killed, ICPC arrests 5 with 3.3 million naira cash. That's a sad one. The All Progressive Congress, People's Democratic Party, and the New Nigeria People's Party recorded various victories in the rerun held across 26 states, though it was on Saturday marred with irregularities in some polling units, forcing the Independent National Electoral Commission to reschedule the exercise in Enugu, Kano, and Plateau State. In Kaduna, one person was killed during the election held on Saturday at Igabi local government area. The deceased, Mansour Shafius, was killed in his attempt to prevent thugs from snatching ballot boxes during the election. May God rest his soul. It's a full-page story on page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, and then let me bring this next story from page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. It says economic crisis, presidency, article in war of words. Economic challenges, presidency article in war of words. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has faulted President Bola Tinubu's handling of the nation's economic challenges, describing it as not only uninformed but arbitrary and chaotic. Okay. You may read more of that story on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. And then this is coming from the Metro page of the Nigerian Tribune. We have various headlines. NDLEA intercepts 14.5 tons of Ghanaian loud linked to wanted drug baron in Lagos. 30-year-old man dies, 4 others injured as fire guts mechanic workshop in Ibadan. Fire raises Sango market in Ibadan. These are the sad stories we have here from Ibadan. May God replenish those who were affected by this fire incident. And then FCTA serves quick notice on traders at Gwarimpa Market. Kidnappers reduce ransom on Kwara monarch's wife or the victim. Okay, on the fire that razed Sango Market, goods and properties worth millions of naira were lost to a fire incident at the popular Sango Market in Ibadan, not local government area of Oyo State. Nigerian Tribune gathered that the inferno started overnight after the close of the market. Our correspondent learned that the magnitude would have been much if not for the swift intervention of the men of the Oyo State Fire Department. Kudos to them. Alright, so you may pick a copy of the Nigerian Tribune to read more about the fire incident that happened in Ibadan. Okay, and then let me quickly bring this next story. Insecurity, Tinubu needs support, not criticism. APC chieftain tells Nigerian. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State, Honorable Olatobosun Oyitiloye, on Sunday called on Nigerians to support President Bola Tinubu in the fight against insecurity and stop criticisms that can distract him. Okay, you may read more of that story on page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, so let me quickly jump to our sports. Okay, to the sport page where Nigerians are actually away from the economic crisis and all the issues we are battling with in Nigeria. Nigerians are presently proud of the Super Eagles, our dear Super Eagles, and one of the greatest guys there is Stanley Wabali, who is our goalkeeper, our choice goalkeeper. Odegbami predicts Nigeria Cote d'Ivoire final. Dr. Olusegun Odegbami won the African Cup of Nations gold and 2 bronze medals in 7 years of energetic and diligent service to Nigeria in international football at senior level. Okay, you may grab a copy of the Nigerian Tribune, the sports page, where Dr. Odegbami is predicted Nigeria Cote d'Ivoire final. We hope we'll beat them. Sometimes players don't listen when I shout. That's coming from Pesiro. Super Eagles head coach Jos Pesiro has revealed two main reasons is an animated figure on the sidelines of Nigeria's matches at the 2023 African Cup of Nations. SoccerNet.ng reports Pesiro has overcome several off-field troubles and harsh criticisms to lead Nigeria to the semi-finals of the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, you may read more of that story on the sports page of the Nigerian Tribune. Eagles depart Boake tomorrow. That's for the Nigeria South Africa game. No top seeds in semi-final. That's coming from Semi Ajayi, Lukman Simon among quarter-final best 11. And Arsenal overwhelmed Liverpool 3-1. Eagles paid winning bonus. Okay, the Super Eagles have been paid their winning bonus. All right, at this juncture, I think I'll need to call it a day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying tuned. No hard feelings for Nwabali, and that's coming from Iwobi. All right, my name is Olamide Abenije. Thank you for staying tuned. I'll bring you more of the story in the my colleagues will bring you more of stories from the headlines as the week goes by. God bless you.
SafeMusicList.com, royalty-free music for marketing and promotional videos.
Share, listen to Aloore Radio on Facebook. Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo.